this is how you die. This is it. And there was this woman that was seeing all this, like from like 10 feet away, and she started like crying uncontrollably. So I got a gun against my temple, and he keeps like doing this with his gun. And then she's over here, so I'm looking at my peripheral because I don't want to turn this way. And I'm like, shut up. Because he's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And I got this gun against my head, you know? All he needs to do is squeeze, you know? And so I'm like, this woman is going to get killed. And I'm like looking at her with like all the despair I can muster up with my retinas, you know what I mean? And it's
There's much more to that tape. We're going to show it later and tomorrow. Jenny, do you have a reaction to that?
Yeah, Jodi looks bored.
Yeah.
And like she wants to focus on her rather than listening to him tell a scary story.
A really important story, a near-death experience of his. And Holly, is that how you react to that video as well?
Yeah, and I also think for Jodi to be on the stand saying that Travis never showed affection and he was embarrassed of her. This shows right here that, I mean, you can't see in the rest of the video, but there were 20 other people standing opposite to Travis listening to the story, and she was laying there, and this is how she always was around the group. She, you know, was apathetic. She didn't care about anything, and she was, you know, always trying to get Travis away from the group.
So basically what you're saying is it was a lot of public display of affection.
Well, she's like a feline, like a cat rolling up in his lap.
Right.
It's like extreme shows of affection. And then again, you say, Holly, isolating him from his friends and family, that's kind of a move that people do when they're up to no good.
Yeah, and Travis wasn't overly affectionate in public. You know, he was not inappropriate, I guess would be the way to say it. And she definitely forced public affection on him, but he wasn't embarrassed. He certainly wasn't trying to hide her until much farther in the relationship after they broke up.
I think cat-like was exactly right.
Right?
Yeah,
she very feline.
100% right.
And Holly, you said something, I guess you have a story about a friend house, the Sky Hughes home?
Yeah, at the Hughes home, Jodi showed up one day while I was there with Sky, and she showed up unannounced. She came over to ask Sky why Sky hated her, and Sky, for 15 minutes, told her why we didn't like her, why we didn't want her around, why we didn't want her to be with Travis, and told her to get out of her house, to never come back. And then I was in the kitchen making lunch for Sky's kids, and Jodi, after, you know, being yelled at for 15 minutes, comes into the kitchen, sits at the dining room table, and just sits there and stares at me while I'm cooking macaroni and cheese. And I didn't say anything to her. It was really awkward, and I didn't want to be around her. And she just sat there for 10 minutes, and then finally she got up and left.
Weird.
It was weird. I know if I was at someone's house and they yelled at me and told me to get out, I would run to my car crying, probably.
Yeah, you would leave. You would feel, what have I done? You'd feel responsible. You'd be upset.
Yeah.